Today, I want to highlight that not only do Zionists label critics of their colonial project as anti Semites, but they also weaponize the accusation of anti Semitism against their victims. They propagate a narrative that Palestinian resistance is not a response to 75 years of systematic colonization, displacement, and oppression, but instead stems from an inherent, irrational hatred of Jews. And we are to believe that when Israeli forces kill children, bomb supposedly safe zones, cut off basic necessities like water, electricity, food, and medicine, and then film themselves celebrating the destruction of Palestinian schools, well, that all of this is legitimate defense, which is obviously a grotesque inversion of reality. Now, some might wonder, why are Europeans on board with this? Don't they know better? Don't they know that Palestinians are not responsible for the Holocaust? Well, I argue that the European support for this narrative is not accidental, but in fact strategically engineered. By systematically transferring the history of anti Semitism from Europe to the Middle East and the Islamic world, Zionist scholars and politicians have crafted a powerful narrative that effectively absolves European nations of their historical anti Semitic crimes. And that's why prominent scholars like Bernard Lewis or Islamophobe in chief Batye Or rarely discuss European anti Semitism, instead, focusing their scholarly work on portraying Palestinians, Arabs, and Muslims as inherently anti Semitic. The manipulation reaches its most extreme form with claims that it was the Palestinians and not the Europeans who were primarily responsible for the Holocaust. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But do you know who says that? Benjamin Netanyahu, for instance, who once claimed that Hitler did not intend to exterminate the Jews. Let that sink. And that it was a Palestinian, the Mufti of Jerusalem, Sheikh Amin al-Husseini, who, quote unquote, fomented the final solution. This narrative accomplishes several strategic goals. That's why it's so powerful. It pardons historical European anti-Semites. It allows European states to cleanse themselves of guilt and maintain the mythical narrative of Western civilization as a beacon of progress rather than a system built on colonization, exploitation, and genocide. And I argue that this narrative is central to the European sense of itself. But this pardon ensures that Europeans are allies and accomplices in Israel's colonial and genocidal endeavor. Israel needs allies. The support is systemic and multi-layered. European political elites, media institutions, state apparatus consistently provide political cover for Israeli actions, even in the midst of a genocide. And this support is not just political, but psychological, a mechanism of collective self-forgiveness that comes at the expense of Palestinian lives and dignity. So next time you witness European politicians offering unconditional support for Israel, see police brutality, for instance, suppressing a pro-Palestine protest, or next time you observe mainstream media's skewed reporting, remember that this is not mere coincidence. It is a calculated, systematic approach to historical manipulation that serves to perpetuate ongoing colonial violence while maintaining a facade of moral righteousness.